Hello there. Good evening, minions on the gram and other social platforms. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Litswe Mboto and I am a creative slash model, property investor, and now recently I am somewhat of a talk show host. I just wanted to give a quick introduction of myself and just tell you what's up. So basically, I am starting a show called The Reality Shift. And the platforms that I'm going to be hosting it on is Instagram and Facebook. And the handles are in my bio. And basically, the show is going to be about persons in various industries having conversations about the industry that they're in, where they're from, what they've been through, where they are now, where they're looking to go, etc., etc. And so that's basically what I'm doing. And I'd really love if you guys could follow me on this journey, show your love and support. I'd really appreciate it. Furthermore, every week I'll be having interviews in my space just here in the garden, and I'll be inviting people to speak about their career, and basically what they're doing, etc., etc. And I will most certainly DM, Facebook, WhatsApp, all you individuals that know me or are acquainted to me some way or form. And I'd really love it if you guys would come into my space and have these chats, especially for young South Africans, young Africans, and just bear with me on this journey. So this is basically the first episode. And so why I decided to do this. I've always struggled with mental illness for the longest time. And after my recovery, I wanted to know how could I better serve society with my experience having come out on the other side of the labyrinth. And I was having a conversation with an acquaintance, Yolanda Ngumalo, shout out. And I was telling her about this journey that I went on. And she said to me, you should tell somebody when you're ready and tell your story. And then I went to bed, and then I woke up, and my subconscious mind just popped this into my mind and said, you have to start a show just now, just start it, just go. And it was everything that I wanted to do. And it is everything I wanted to do. And this first episode is basically highlighting my struggle, my journey with mental illness as a male. And hopefully I can just, demystify and share my experience. And hopefully the males out there can relate and find solace and courage through this recording. So from the beginning, basically I've struggled with mental illness for a very, very long time, for as long as I can remember. And I've always known that there was something that was imbalanced. And I knew that my family also had a history of mental illness. Very, very, very deep history with mental illness. And so I struggled with it for a very long time. And the problem with that was I I felt powerless. I didn't know where or who to go to or who to talk about it, because the stigma culture prohibited me from doing so. And I found myself falling into this the box of saying, and others saying, it's just be strong, it will be okay. And over time it got worse and worse and worse and worse. And yeah, and those of you who know me have probably seen me in these different states where physically it expressed my mind, body, and soul alignment during my stages along this journey of life. So coming to the peak, the climax of my journey of mental illness was when I got these scars on my neck. I stabbed myself 13 times with a butcher knife just to stop the pain. I had not seen any doctors. I'd wanted to, but I didn't know how to express myself and talk to family at the time. And I couldn't trust myself. I couldn't trust my mind. And that was the first time I went to hospital for mental illness. And along that journey, I was diagnosed with acute psychosis and schizophrenia. Now, just to give perspective, psychosis and schizophrenia, it's not something that just happens. It gradually happens, right? Over time of not addressing issues that are meant to be addressed, right? And it was completely terrifying and excruciating recovery process. It really was, because it was delusions. I was hearing voices. I was seeing things. It was absolutely beyond any other experience. First and foremost, I shouldn't have survived those 13 stabs in my neck. I lost an absurd amount of blood, and my mother found me on the floor. And so I think when I went to the hospital at that time, I was like, geez, somehow you were able to recover from 13 butcher knife stabs in your neck and you're still alive. Jeez, somebody doesn't want you to go from this earth. Okay, so that was just my conclusion. So from there, I went through this recovery process, and I ended up detaching from my environment, because environment has such as a major contributing factor on your way of being and your state of mind, state of being. And my environment at that time was not conducive for me, and I didn't have the tools and understanding and information in order for me to guard my mind and guard myself and my spirit. And I wasn't consciously aware of that experience. I couldn't separate, whether it's my ego, my my pride, and I was very identified to the body and its sensations, its feelings, etc. And that basically run my life. So yeah, and then the recovery process, when I got out of hospital, that was when the lockdown and COVID-19 came into play, and I went to stay in the South Coast, Dad's farm, and they told me that it would take about 3 months for me to recover, and I had to take my meds, I had to do like cognitive behavioral therapy, meditation, breath work, all of this. And I had to be consistent. I had to go to counseling. And during lockdown as well, during the lockdown, because it was a necessity. And having done that, it was it was a very, very strenuous journey because I was conscious of my mind, and it wasn't able to. I could feel, and I was aware of how slow I was, but I was also aware of the progress that I was making, and I was also aware of what this nature environment and being connected um, to it was doing to me in terms of recovery. Um, yeah, so um, so that's basically the steps that I took, and I was just focused on that moment. 24 hours, just getting better and better every single day, and it was a perfect time for reflection, reconstruction, replanning. Um, During the lockdown, and I really made the most of it, and it came at the right time, and I think for everybody, it forced us to really shift our focus on things that actually mattered. So yeah, that was basically my journey, and I just really I would really like, to open this conversation, um, and just a person's to find strength in this, human beings, just giving them a source of hope, in a way, because I came out on the other side. I never thought that I would. I never thought that I'd be where I am today. I never thought that I'd be taking the steps and making the strides that I am right here and now. And yeah, and I suppose I'm living proof. And I'm just thankful for all the people that have helped me, my family, extended family, friends, who have helped me through this journey. And yeah, so uh, over the course of these coming weeks, I'll be posting interviews with persons in various industries, um, about certain topics, about themselves and their journeys, their struggles, whether it be in the creative industry, the engineering industry, or uh, whatever it is. And I'll just, being having conversations with different dimensions of persons in that regard. And yeah, and just really having open conversations and insight, and allowing ourselves to change our perspectives, to grow, to heal, and to move forward as a human race. And so, yeah, I think it's generally, I just want to be in service, and this is my way of being in service and spreading love and giving love. And my mantra is truth, love, joy, being truthful to myself and others, loving what is given to me, and finding joy in everything that I do. And I constantly ask myself every single morning, what would love do? And that has always and never ceases to point me in the right direction. Right? So please do follow the Reality Shift Essay on Instagram. It should be just below, and at the Reality Essay on Facebook, and Litswe Mboto Facebook page. And please, just watch out. Your DMs are going to be flooding with my messages, because I'm going to be messaging a hell of a lot of you peeps. I really want you guys to come on the show and have conversations with me, and hopefully we can all grow from this. And yeah, Thank you for taking the time for watching this video. And yeah, peace.